Hello and welcome to the lesson. So today I'm going to show you how to play Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton, which is a classic song. I think you're really going to enjoy it. And I've been playing this song since I was 9 years old, so I think it's going to be a great lesson. You're going to have a lot of fun. So let me start off by demonstrating what I'm going to show you in this lesson. It's going to sound like this. Okay, there you go. It sounds wonderful, doesn't it? So that's the main intro and the verse of the song. And there's another section that I'm going to show you later, but let's just begin with this part first. Okay, so we're going to start off by playing the 6th string open and hammer on to fret 2 like this. Now, you can use your middle finger or your first finger, but I like to use my thumb. Okay, now throughout this song you'll see that I use my thumb a lot. Now I'll show you both ways of doing it, but I encourage you to try and use your thumb, and I think you'll find it easier in the long run. It takes a bit of practice, but I think it's worth it. Okay, so once you've done that, what we're going to do is an A chord using our first finger to lay across strings 4, 3 and 2, all at fret 2 like that. And that finger is going to touch the first string as well, but that's fine. Now what I want you to do is pluck the 5th string, which is open, and then pluck the 3rd string, which is being held down at fret 2. And now pluck the 2nd string, but what we're going to do is hammer the middle finger onto fret 3 and pull off again, like this. I hope that makes sense. Just look at the tab at the bottom. So we're plucking the 2nd string, hammer on the middle finger, and then pluck that middle finger away. So we're plucking the 2nd string, hammer on the middle finger, and pluck that middle finger away. There you go, very good. And now pluck the 3rd string on the end. So if we join that together, it'll sound like this. There you go. Just pause the video and practice it in your own time to really get the hang of it. Now the next chord we're going to do is a C sharp minor 7 over G. Now let me show you how to do this as a bar chord, and then I'll show you how to do it with your thumb. It's the first finger across all the strings at fret 4, and you've got to hold them down nice and tight. Put your middle finger on the 2nd string at fret 5 and put your 3rd finger on the 4th string at fret 6. And now what we're going to do is use our right hand to pluck strings 6, 4, 3 and 2 all together. And it should sound like that. You might have to just pause the video and practice that chord and make sure you're holding it down with plenty of pressure to make sure it sounds right. So it's going to sound like this. Then pluck the 4th string, and then pluck strings 3 and 2 together. Very good. Now the alternative is to just bring your first finger back and use your thumb to hold down the 6th string. For me, it's easier. It's the same notes, it's the same chord, it's the same frets. The only difference is I'm using my thumb to hold down the 6th string instead of having to reach across with my first finger. So just try it for yourself and you can decide what feels most comfortable. There you go. Now the next chord is an F sharp minor 7. So if you want to do it as a bar chord, it's the first finger across all the strings at fret 2. Put your 3rd finger on the 5th string at fret 4 and your little finger on the 4th string at fret 4. There you go, okay? So look at the chord diagram if you just want to check that. And you're going to pluck it like this. 6th string and 3rd string and 2nd string all together. And then pluck the 4th string. And then pluck strings 3 and 2. And then the 4th string again. Okay, now just to give you an example, bring your first finger back and use your thumb to hold down the 6th string. So try exactly the same picking pattern but using your thumb, and this is what I do. Good, I hope that makes sense. And now, what we're going to do is take the thumb off, and just what we're going to do is leave the first finger across strings 4, 3 and 2. And you're going to do the same picking pattern again, like this. Fantastic. Now the next bit goes like this. So what that is, I'm using my thumb, you can see, on the 6th string at fret 2, put your middle finger on the 3rd string at fret 2, and put your 3rd finger on the 2nd string at fret 3. Now pluck strings 6, 3 and 2 together. And then pluck the 6th string, and then pluck string 6, 3 and 2 again, and then the 6th string again on its own. And now take your thumb off and pluck strings 6, 3 and 2. So that time the 6th string's open. I hope that makes sense. And now keep your 3rd finger where it is, but change to the 1st finger on the 3rd string at fret 1 and pluck strings 6, 3 and 2. Okay, I know I'm moving quite quickly, but pause the video and look at the tab. Use the tab to help you, all right? It will take you a lot of practice to get this sounding smooth. It took me hours, days, weeks, months, years to practice this song and get it sounding smooth, so don't rush yourself. Now, once you've done that, we're going to go back to the A chord. And the way I'm doing that, I'm plucking strings 5, 3 and 2, and then the 4th string, and then strings 3 and 2, and then the 4th string, and then the 5th string, 4th string, and then strings 3 and 2. So it'll sound like this. Good. So if I demonstrate this from the start in slow motion, it will sound like this. There you go, that's the main section. Now the good news is, it does it again very similarly, although it's slightly different on the end. So we start again with this bit, and then the C sharp minor 7 over G sharp, the same, F sharp minor 7. Now we're going to go like this. Okay, so what we've got there is the same chord as before. That's the thumb on the 6th string at fret 2, the middle finger on the 3rd string at fret 2, and the 3rd finger on the 2nd string at fret 3. And we're going to go like this. So pluck strings 6, 3 and 2, and then the 6th string on its own, and then strings 3 and 2, and then pluck the 1st string, which is open. And then we're going to go like this. That's an A chord, and what I'm doing is plucking strings 5, 3 and 2, and then pluck the 2nd string and do that little hammer and pull off thing, you know, like we did on the intro with the middle finger, like this. And then pluck the 3rd string. And now pluck the 2nd string open, and we're going to move to an E chord. And an E chord you probably know already. It's the 1st finger on the 3rd string at fret 1, the middle finger on the 5th string at fret 2, and the 3rd finger on the 4th string at fret 2. And you're going to pluck the 6th string, the 4th string, and then strings 3 and 2 together, and then the 4th string. And then what I want you to do is make an A chord again, like this, and pluck strings 3 and 2, and then pluck the 4th string, and then put your middle finger on the 2nd string at fret 3 and put your 3rd finger on the 3rd string at fret 4 and pluck strings 3 and 2 like this. I hope that makes sense. Just look at the tab if you want to clarify it. So if I demonstrate that last little section, it'll sound like this. There you go. And so really that is the main section of the song. That's the main verse. So congratulations, we've done it already. So let me demonstrate that second section, that verse section from the start in slow motion. And what happens is Eric Clapton repeats that section again, okay? And now what eventually happens, once he's done it again, and once he finishes on this pluck pluck the 6th string on the end, and we're going to go into the second part of the song, which sounds like this. Okay, I think you know the bit I mean. So we're going to do an F sharp minor chord, and the easiest way to do this, you can do it as a bar if you want to, like this, with the bar at fret 2 and these 2 fingers, but I'm going to suggest that we're just going to use our 6th string at fret 2 with the thumb, and the first finger laying across strings 3, 2 and 1, all at fret 2, and that's all the notes we need. And you're going to play it like this. So that's the 6th string at fret 2 with the thumb, and then pluck the 3rd string at fret 2, and then pluck strings 2 and 1, and then the 3rd string again. So it's like this. And then do it again. Now we're going to move to this chord. It kind of looks like a D chord a little bit, but a D chord is here and this chord is here. It's the 3rd string at fret 1, the middle finger on the 1st string at fret 1, and the 3rd finger on the 2nd string at fret 2, and the thumb is playing the 6th string at fret 1, and we're going to do the same pick in a pattern again. So string 6, 3, 2 and 1, and then 3, and then do it again. And now this time, the only finger you're going to have is the 2nd string at fret 2, but you're going to do the same picking pattern like this. I hope that makes sense. Just look at the tab if you need to. And now we're going to do this. What that is the thumb on the 6th string at fret 2, the 1st finger on the 4th string at fret 2, the middle finger on the 2nd string at fret 2, and the 3rd finger on the 3rd string at fret 3. So this time you're plucking the 6th string, the 4th string, and then strings 3 and 2, and then the 4th string. Now we're not going to repeat that one because we're going to go like this instead. What that is a 6th string at fret 4, the 3rd string at fret 4. Pluck them both together and then move them up. So it's the 6th string at fret 6 and the 3rd string at fret 6. Fantastic. Let's keep going. I know I'm moving quite quickly, but let me show you the last few chords on this section, and then I'll demonstrate it all the way through in slow motion. So what we're going to do now is a B minor 7. And for this particular chord, I am going to do it as a bar chord. So meaning I'm going to use my 1st finger to lay across all 5 strings at fret 2. We don't need the 6th string for this one. The middle finger's on the 2nd string at fret 3, and the 3rd finger's on the 4th string at fret 4. So pause the video and look at the chord box if you want to practice it. I suggest you just practice those strings and make sure they're sounding okay. Like that, just strum the 5 strings. So the way we're going to pick it is like this. So that's the 5th, 3rd and 2nd string together, and then the 4th string, and then strings 3 and 2, and then the 4th string, and then pluck the 5th string, and then the 4th string, and then strings 3 and 2, and then the 4th string. Okay, good. I hope that makes sense. And now we're going to do this fantastic chord, which is D over E. So basically what we're doing is a D chord, but what I'm going to do is put my 1st finger flat across strings 4 and 3, put my middle finger on the 1st string at fret 2, and put the 3rd finger on the 2nd string at fret 3, okay? Look at the chord diagram. And what you're going to do is this. So that's plucking the 6th string open, and then strings 3 and 2 twice, and then pluck the 4th string, which is being held down at fret 2. And then pluck string 3 and 2 again. So it'll sound like this. Fantastic. And what happens is it goes back into the main intro section that we learned right at the start. There you go. So the whole thing is kind of joined together now. We've got the main intro and the main verse, which are very similar, and then we've got that second section, and it all wraps around nicely, and he goes around the whole thing and then starts again right from the start and goes through the whole thing. Now don't worry about how to join all these parts together, because that is explained in the PDF document. It tells you when to play each one of these bits, so don't worry about that. In the video lesson I show you how to play each bit, and in the PDF it shows you what order and what sequence to play them all in. So between the two it'll all make perfect sense, and you'll be able to play the song from start to finish, okay? So this final section that I'm going to show you is the bridge, and it's going to sound like this. Okay, there you go. So we're going to start off by hammering the 5th string open and onto fret 2. And that's going to lead us into a C chord. You probably already know a C, but just in case, it's the 3rd finger on the 5th string at fret 3, the middle finger on the 4th string at fret 2, and the 1st finger on the 2nd string at fret 1. Now the picking pattern that we're going to do is like this. That's the 5th string, the 3rd string, and then strings 1 and 2. And then pluck the 3rd string again. Okay, so it's like this. Now we're going to change to a G over B chord. That's the middle finger on the 5th string at fret 2 and the little finger on the 1st string at fret 3. And you're going to do the same picking pattern. Good. Just pause the video, look at the chord charts. You don't have to leave the video playing. Take your time, pause the video and practice. Be patient, okay? Now go to an A-7 chord. That's the middle finger on the 4th string at fret 2 and the 1st finger on the 2nd string at fret 1. And it's the same picking pattern. And now we're going to go to a D over F sharp. That's a D chord, which is the 1st finger on the 3rd string at fret 2, the middle finger on the 1st string at fret 2, and the 3rd finger on the 2nd string at fret 3. And the thumb is going to hold down the 6th string at fret 2. And what we're going to do is this. It's basically the same picking pattern, but instead of plucking the 5th string as the root note, we're now plucking the 6th string. I hope that makes sense. Now to a G chord. A G is the 3rd finger on the 6th string at fret 3, the middle finger on the 5th string at fret 2, and the little finger on the 1st string at fret 3. And again, we're going to use the 6th string as our root note. Now go back to D over F sharp. And now we're going to do an E minor. And that's just the 5th string at fret 2 and the 4th string at fret 2. And you're going to use the 6th string as the root note. So pluck 6, and then the 3rd string, and then strings 1 and 2, and then the 3rd string. And now do an A-7, that's the one we learned already, so you already know it, and pluck strings 5, 4, 3 and 2 all together, like that. And then do G over B, but do it with the middle finger on the 5th string at fret 2, and the little finger on the 2nd string at fret 3, and pluck the 5th, 4th, 3rd and 2nd string all together. Like that, okay? Now I know I'm talking quickly, but if you just look at the diagrams, look at the tab and listen to what I'm playing, you'll actually see that it's, you know, it's not as complicated as I'm making it sound, but I'm trying to explain all the notes just to make sure you can get it perfectly clear. So from the start, this section goes like this. And then go into the C again. And then the G over B, the same as before. A-7, D over F sharp, and then G. D over F sharp again, the same as before. But this time we're going to play the E chord. So the difference between an E minor and an E is you still got those 2 fingers, but the 1st finger is on the 3rd string at fret 1. And now we're going to play the same section as how it finishes on the verse, like this. Okay? So you've got the tab there for that at the bottom. Okay, now I think the correct thing for me to do is to play this whole song with all these sections right the way through. Okay, so it's gonna sound like this at a reasonably slow pace. verse. And again on the verse. Now with the F sharp minor for the second section, like this. And then back into the intro. And then it goes into another verse and does the whole thing again. And then once it's done it round, the whole thing round twice, it goes into the bridge section. And then E, back into verse. Okay, and then you continue and it goes around another verse. Okay, there you go. That's all the parts. I hope it makes sense. I hope you're going to enjoy playing that. Now, let me say, it is a tricky song. It's fiddly, it's complicated, there's bar chords, it's tough to hold the notes down. You know, there's no easy way around it. You've just got to practice. That's exactly what I did. I don't expect you to learn to play this within 10 minutes or 20 minutes of watching this lesson. It's just not going to happen. So practice, practice, practice. It's the only way of doing it. So I hope you're going to enjoy that. Now there's one more bit I want to show you. At the end of the intro, when you're playing an A chord, it's nice to do this. And then go into the verse. So what we're doing there on the A chord, if you imagine you've just played the 5th string open, and then you've plucked the 4th string, and then you've plucked string 3 and 2, and what I'm going to ask you to do is pluck the 4th string and hammer onto fret 4 from fret 2. And then do the same on the 3rd string, hammer from fret 2 onto fret 4. And now on the 2nd string, hammer from fret 2 onto fret 3 and pull off. And then play the 3rd string at fret 2. Now you can do this by holding your first finger flat across those strings like this, without moving your first finger. So let me demonstrate. And then verse. And then carry on. I hope that makes sense. Go and practice it. Thanks for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Go and practice it lots. Be patient with yourself. Do what's got to be done, and that is practice. Thanks for joining me. I'm Ben Larry. I'll see you in another guitar lesson soon. Goodbye.